Good morning, guys. Nick at Optima PS. Hope you're well. It's been a while since I posted again. As you know, I normally only ever post when I think I can bring something to the table, but it's been a busy couple of weeks, hasn't it? And I just wanted to share some thoughts. So, since I last spoke to you, we've seen quite a few things going in the world. There's a conversation about whether XRP's hit its all-time high. I think we just about did. There's question marks whether it's $3.84 or $3.31 or different exchanges. Then we had that Korean exchange rate situation where it translated into US dollars at a probably slightly unorthodox rate, shall we say. So no one's quite sure if we hit it. I don't care if we hit it or not, to be perfectly honest. We're there or thereabouts. We're going to move into price discovery quite soon. We've had an interesting week. We see the value dip a little bit just this last week, which the charts are probably telling us would happen anyway. But big news on that is one of the main reasons we saw a drop off in nearly every altcoin was the launch of the Trump coin. I don't care what your thoughts are on that. No one cares what my thoughts are on that. It's here now. It doesn't really matter if you think it's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's an exceptionally good thing in the long term. I think it's a question mark. It's dipped in value incredibly last night. It went up to about $74, I think, at the highest point, and it's tumbled right down now to $47. That was always going to happen. Was it a rug pull on behalf of the president's team? I doubt it. It was probably people taking profits. I've not looked into the numbers behind it. I've not seen who sold and who hasn't sold, but it's definitely interesting times. I mean, guys, the President of the United States has launched a crypto coin. Before we get into all that, just to say, you know me by now, my name's Nick, I'm a financial advisor, but I'm absolutely not your financial advisor. I don't know the first thing about you, so anything I say or do today should not be taken as financial advice in any way or form. It's just me sharing an opinion on the internet, hoping I can bring you some value. But let's talk about that. So it's the first thing we've got to look at, right? The President of the United States has launched his own cryptocurrency, a meme coin. It's not going to bring any real value to the sector as a coin itself. It's a meme coin at the end of the day. It's no different than Doge or any one of these meme coins. But in the same respect, the President of the United States has launched a meme coin. Every question mark around the SEC, around initial coin offerings, around anything that's been hindering Ripple for the past 4 or 5 years is gone. It's gone. Overnight it's gone. It doesn't matter how you view it, how you feel about it. The president of the most powerful nation on planet Earth has launched his own meme coin. The SEC is already going to be pro-crypto after the inauguration today when everyone comes in and the new guys take their seats at the table. And if nothing else was looking positive before, the president has launched a coin. There is no longer a question mark about ICOs. There is no longer a question mark. There's still regulatory framework that needs to be put into place, but that is now happening. To use the crypto phrase, the train has left the station. It was always going to leave the station. The difference today is that the train is leaving the station with the President of the United States. If he's not in the driving seat, he's sat there in first class. He's going on this journey with us now, and he's going to drag the whole world with him. There is virtually zero doubt in my mind now that this reserve crypto situation will take place. Whether that's only Bitcoin, I doubt it, but I wouldn't like to promise you right now. But there is going to be a crypto reserve. He's going to see through on that. There was question marks. People were saying, was he just jumping on the crypto bandwagon for votes? Well, he's answered that question now, right? And not only that, what he's done with launching this coin is he's greenlit the entire world to say crypto is the future. Crypto's here to stay, it's the future. How that plays out, I still don't know. There's 1,000 different ways this thing could go from here. But what it tells us is that we are living in a world now where cryptocurrency is going to be adopted. There is zero question. We all thought this anyway. That's why we're all here. That's why you guys tune in and listen to guys like me and the more popular Bitcoin YouTubers, Bitcoin channels, crypto channels out there. I'm aware I'm not the biggest one, but in the same respect, everyone always had that. I'm 99.99% certain. I'm now 100% certain. This thing is done. It's signed off. It's sealed by the President of the United States. We've got a 4 years minimum now. I strongly suspect the next person who comes in will also be pro-crypto now. It's the way the world is going. but so much is going to happen over this next 4 years. I put out a tweet yesterday, I think it was, and basically said the President of the United States has just told the entire world that crypto is the future. Everyone will be racing to join this party now. Things I expected to take 5 to 10 years to materialize could happen in the next 12 months. XRP, ETH, Bitcoin, Sol, Quant, Render, XLM, XDC, Algo. That's because I got bored of typing them, not because I think they're the only ones that are going to benefit. We'll all benefit here. You are not bullish enough, guys. You're not bullish enough. Then I threw out a thanks to the President because, quite frankly, he deserves it. Again, not everyone thinks crypto is the future, the way forward. For us, those of us who do, this has been a massive, massive stamp, a massive seal of approval. We saw that Trump coin, it's dipped now. Whether that was a rug pull or whether that was just people taking profits. I mean, I didn't get on. I didn't see it in time. It had already gone through the roof. I wasn't certain it was genuine until the price was already way, way up, so I didn't bother getting involved. It's $47.88 right now, which is a teeny weeny 638% profit in 7 days. Yeah. So, it's sat there with a market cap of almost exactly 10 billion, just shy of 10 billion. Volume in the last 24 hours has been 41 billion. There's a lot of people that have jumped on and jumped out. If you bought in at $10, if you're one of the early guys to get in, and you suddenly saw it worth $74, I do not blame you for selling out. That's the way these things go. But quite frankly, it's not about that. I mean, there's been a rug pull of some form. People that got in late at the $70+ mark are now looking at a 50% drop. That's going to be a shock to the system because half of those are going to be new people in crypto. Probably not all of them. The reason we saw the altcoins lose an awful lot of value in the last, well, with the exception of Solana, I suppose, in the last 24, 48 hours, is because it was people who saw this coin, saw the movement going and sold some of their alts to get in on Trump coin, and I hope they all managed to make some money. Not everyone will have done, that's the way this thing works, but realistically speaking, that's kind of irrelevant. What is relevant is now the whole world is talking about the fact that the President of the United States has greenlit crypto. Next, we're going to see the inauguration. He's going to make some major announcements. I'm very, very confident that one of those announcements he'll make will be the abolishment of SAB 121. If you're not familiar with SAB 121, it essentially was a rule brought in by the Democrats, which they weren't allowed to ban crypto. They didn't have the ability to tell big banks you cannot offer crypto custody services to your clients. So they brought out SAB 121 because what that essentially did was meant that they had to hold those assets on balance sheet, which meant if I said to my bank, I want to hold $100,000 worth of XRP with you guys, they were allowed to do it legally. But to do it, they had to hold it on balance sheet, which essentially means it's a whole nother conversation. It's a very deep sort of technical conversation, but for pure simplicity, I'm going to dumb it right down. It means that they have to basically hold that. And let's say it's not quite this simple, but let's say if they've got $100,000 my crypto, they need $100,000 sat in cash to balance the books. And that's incredibly bad for business because what they would charge me for holding that crypto wouldn't have made it commercially viable. So what SAB 121 essentially did was it makes it very, very commercially unviable for banks to hold crypto assets in custody accounts on behalf of their clients. That was put in purely and utterly under the guise of consumer protection, but it was brought in purely and utterly to slow the crypto train down, to delay things, to try and kill it potentially, and it failed. I think the new president's going to come in and abolish that as one of his first ever rulings, and that will open the floodgates to the big banks. And to all of you that don't want the banks involved, to all you that want to keep things completely DeFi, the simple situation is we're never going to get to the targets we want with just us, 5% of the global population, probably smaller than that really, who think outside the box. We're not going to get there. We can't do it alone. It will always remain a small piece of a huge, huge financial jigsaw. So this opens the door to major, major retail adoption, which, by the way, is still a drop in the ocean compared to major institutional adoption. That's coming anyway. But I think what we'll now see is a bigger pump this time around because the banks will be writing out to their clients saying, hey, you've got crypto, we can custody that for you. we can offer you the ability to take that $1 million in your bank, Grandpa Jim, and put 10% into this new Bitcoin thing. You don't know anything about it? That's fine. We've got a guy who does. We've got a crypto expert. We'll put 1% of your portfolio in. Don't miss the train altogether. You know, we've got the option now to profiteer, which is what the banks are there for, by holding your crypto. You're going to see a major swing in everyone's thought process there. But that's not really why I'm excited. Why I'm excited is it's going to greenlight the whole regulatory framework. We are going to see regulations come into place that allow for the mass global adoption of crypto. It's probably something, as I said in that tweet, that I thought was going to take another 5 to 10 years from now. I'm not naive enough to think it's going to happen overnight. This flip of the switch thing, the switch being flipped has probably happened. The reaction and the adoption and the price action that we're all waiting for on the back of that isn't going to be a flip of the switch thing. We're not going to wake up and find $1,000 XRP anytime soon. I don't believe. I hope I'm wrong. I don't believe. But I think we're going to wake up and find the structure in place, the system in place, the protocols in place, the regulation in place that now leads us there, and probably in a smoother fashion than before. I think the days of the 90% crypto dips are probably gone. I'm not going to tell you this market won't dip. It will hit a peak and it will drop off. But the more money that's involved, the less protracted the swings are, the less volatile the markets are. You can see that in the normal stock markets, right? A single stock will swing higher and lower than an index. A new emerging company stock will swing higher and lower than a long-established energy company, bank, stock, things like this. The bigger, the more money that is in, the less it swings. You look at the S&P 500, $1 trillion can go in and out, and they will pull the market. They don't do anything to it. They barely even, put a dent on the charts, because there's so much volume in there. Volume is what matters, and the more volume that comes, the less volatile these indices will be. So it's two things. One, it's great. We might not see the major dips in the future. Two, it's dreadful, because I, for one, have thoroughly enjoyed the major dips in the past, because I've made money off them, right? That's what we're here for. That's what we all want to see. Those days are going to reduce. They're not going to go away forever. The S&P 500 still goes in cycles with liquidity and other things. The job market will affect the S&P 500. Things like that will begin to affect crypto far more. The more money that comes in, the more those things will impact it. The job market changes at the moment, and crypto doesn't really pay attention. It's a tiny portion of who think differently than everyone else anyway. But moving forwards, it's going to get more like a mainstream market. Interestingly, here's a tweet from somebody. I retweeted it. I think it was James Ray XRP that I retweeted, but from Meg BZK Megs. I don't know how you say the name. Whole Solana blockchain is down. I bet XRP and HBAR could handle this. It's an interesting observation. For everyone that's upset that Trump has launched on Solana, Solana's the easiest one to launch on, to be perfectly honest. You could argue Ethereum as well, but Solana is one of the easier ones. He was able to do it using credit cards without people even having a crypto wallet. But it just goes to show the chinks in the armor of Solana. There are question marks about its ability to handle the transactions. XRP, the Ripple network, I don't think would have had a problem with that. I think it will be very interesting the next few days if the president comes out and drops any major names. I'm not sure he will. I bet he's been advised not to, but he might just do it anyway, because that's the way he rolls. So we're in a strange old world. And then you get the other question where I say, well, all this money's suddenly going to start flowing in, and then people are going to realise just how little a deal market cap is. And I've been saying this for a long time. Market cap's designed for stocks. It doesn't relate to crypto in the same way. And most people that talk about market cap as being this huge barometer, this huge, yardstick that we have to use to see how high something can go, they're wrong. They misunderstand the concept. Dark Defender, you all know Dark Defender. If you don't, give this guy a follow, because I love the work he does. But he's come out, he's put out a tweet, said, we addressed total market cap illusion on the 4th of January. I see some copies of the below without any reference. So what is market cap illusion? The market capitalization, market cap of a cryptocurrency does not directly represent the amount of money that's been invested into it. Instead, the market cap is calculated by multiplying the current price of a single coin or token by the total number of coins or tokens in circulation, and here's why this distinction matters. Market cap calculation: if a cryptocurrency price is $100, there are 1 million coins in circulation, its market cap would be 100 million. However, this figure doesn't reflect the actual cash inflow into the cryptocurrency, volatility, and price movements. The market cap can fluctuate significantly due to changes in the coin's price, even if no additional money is entered or left the market. For instance, if the price of the coin rises due to increased demand or speculation, the market cap increases. But this doesn't necessarily mean more money has been invested. It means a tiny bit more money has been invested, but not as much as the market cap changes by. This is where everyone has the illusion there's a common misunderstanding where people might think the market cap represents the total funds invested. However, if only a tiny portion of coins are being traded at the current price, the actual amount of money invested could be significantly less than the market cap suggests. For example, if only 10% of those 1 million coins were traded at $100, the actual money exchanged would be 10 million, not 100 million. Liquidity and real estate investment. The real investment or liquidity can often be better gauged through metrics like trading volume. High trading volume indicates active buying and selling, which might more accurately reflect investment than market cap alone. I will come to the volume part below, which will be mind-blowing. So while the market cap is a valuable metric for gauging the relative size and perceived value of a cryptocurrency, it should not be confused with the total amount of money that's been invested into that coin. This understanding is crucial for investors and traders when analysing potential risks and rewards in the crypto market. So just going on that, I mentioned the phrase real estate because I've got it on my mind. I always like to use analogies and examples that bring things back into the real world. So let's imagine, just on that conversation, we have a street with 10 houses on it. And each house is worth $1 million, to keep the numbers really simple. Yep. Everyone on that street knows the house is worth $1 million. They've just been built by a new builder for $1 million. Everyone's bought their house for $1 million. So the market cap of that street is 10 million. 10 houses times 1 million. Then let's imagine something crazy happens. Somebody decides they really, really want a house on that street, but they've all just been bought. So he has to pay over market value. And he pays $2 million to prize the house away from the person who's just recently bought it. Suddenly, every house on that street can expect a sale price of $2 million. Because that house, they're all identical houses, and that house has just sold for $2 million, so they're all worth $2 million. So the market cap of that street has gone from $10 million to $20 million in a single transaction. Because suddenly every house is worth $2 million. But the money that flowed into that market to drive the price from 10 million to 20 million in an instant is only an extra $1 million. So the inflow to drive those houses from 1 million to 2 million value, from a 10 million to a 20 million market cap, is only $11 million. Each $1 million, and then the final resale. In fact, I guess you could call it $12 million because that final house has been bought twice. So $12 million. Now let's imagine something crazy, and I'm going to use a very pertinent example today because this has happened in the crypto world. Let's imagine that house was bought by the president himself. Why? Because he's just bought himself a crypto coin. He's just launched a meme coin, so he's now joined this party. So let's imagine he joins the party in this example. And everybody wants to live on that street because the president lives in that street. So he bought his house for $2 million, making the market cap $20 million, but driving the price of each house up by an extra $1 million. Somebody really, really wants to live next door to the president. Let's say it's Elon Musk. Elon then jumps in and buys his house for $5 million because everyone on the street doesn't want to sell their house because they want to live on the same street as the president. So he has to make an offer they can't refuse. So he says, I'm going to buy a house for $5 million. Someone accepts it. Suddenly, every house on the street is worth $5 million. Yeah, there's 10 houses, so that's a $50 million market cap. But actually, the inflow has been the original $10 million, the second $2 million from Mr. Trump, and then the third $5 million from Elon Musk. So $17 million has driven the price up to a $50 million market cap. That's probably the best way of explaining it without graphics, without, showing you charts and pictures and things like that. That's probably the best way I can explain market cap. It's irrelevant to this. People will turn around and go, oh, but the market cap of XRP would be in the trillions, and there's not trillions of dollars. Well, there is trillions of dollars around the world, but it doesn't require trillions to create a market cap of trillions. We're going to see this thing go. Now, we might have a few days wobble. I think the inauguration will pump things again. We might have a few more days wobble because a load of new retail has just been burnt on the Trump coin. But they're also going to have the fastest lesson in crypto because they're going to see that rally again very, very shortly. And so, wow, I was double my money. I went down to 25%, and now I'm going back up again. You know, and isn't crypto easy? You just close your eyes in the bad days and you let it ride out the storm. We're going to see a very, very, very quick adoption of retail now. Not everyone in the world. There'll be a lot of people who don't like Trump. There'll be a lot of people who find it too volatile. They don't want anything to do with it. But a lot of people who previously never considered it will now be considering it. And I don't just mean in the US. I mean globally. This is global news now. You know, we're finding ourselves all over the press at the moment. People are starting to pay attention. You know, my dad talks about crypto and he says to me, how many Bitcoins have you got? Now, the answer is, I don't have any full Bitcoins. I've got a few million Satoshi, I think. I don't even remember how much. It's one of my smallest holdings. I don't pay any attention to it. I used to hold a lot, but I traded it out for other alts. In terms of that side of things, you know, my dad will still say to me, you know, oh yeah, the world's all going to use these Bitcoins, isn't it? By Bitcoins, he means crypto. You know, in the UK, when you're going to go and do the vacuuming, you say, I'm going to go and hoover up. Yeah, that's just a phrase we use. I'm going to hoover up. It may be a global thing, I'm not sure, but we say I'm going to go hoover up. That's because Hoover was the original brand of a vacuum cleaner in the UK. When I go out and buy a new Hoover, I buy Dyson. But I don't call it a Dyson, I say I'm going to buy a new Hoover. And it's just the simple fact, Bitcoin is the brand name for cryptocurrency. We're all going to have to deal with that. But I don't think Bitcoin will be the market leader when it comes to the final function of cryptocurrency. It will be the store of value. It's always going to be the biggest name. It's always going to be the store of value. It's not going to be the most transacted. It's not going to be the most used. It's not going to be the railings of this new financial infrastructure we're looking at. And again, market cap has nothing to do with how big this thing can go. I'm really excited about the next few weeks, guys. I know my dour, miserable Manchester voice doesn't always portray that, but in the same respect, I'm incredibly excited about the next few days. Even my videos, I always use this infographic on 3 at the back. Remember when it used to be tiny little trickles? You know, you'd see the odd line move from here and there. You know, you can't even tell the lines apart now. You zoom in, there is so much going on right now. Right now, look at those stats at the bottom of the screen. This is the last 5-minute window. This is what's going on in real time right now. And actually, you know, the US is just about going to bed at this point in time. Asia's just about waking up. The world has changed and it's never going back. That train is leaving the station and the President of the United States is on the train with us. You're not bullish enough, guys. That's all I've got to say today. Listen, I've really enjoyed speaking to you. Thanks very much. If you do like what I say, as ever, please punch that like button. I really do appreciate it. Please drop me a comment. Always appreciate it. Drop me a comment saying the phrase XRP or crypto or Bitcoin or something like that, because that works wonders with the algorithms at YouTube. And I'll speak to you all again soon. I'll sign off with my standard sign off that I promised I'll use. Stay classy, crypto.